Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Hey.
Today we're heading to Mars. You guys sent in a ton of stuff on the Red Planet. Articles, research, even some
Yeah, even some hand-drawn maps.
hand-drawn maps. I love it. Clearly, Mars has captured your imaginations. And, well, I get it.
It's hard not to be fascinated, right?
Right, it's this mysterious world right next door. It's like the ultimate what if.
Exactly. And it
Right,
feels
what
like
if?
with every new discovery, with every rover that lands,
Yeah,
the mystery deepens.
it really does. But we're not just here to gawk at the mystery, are we? We're going to sift through all your submissions. We're going to look at the science, the history, and yeah.
We'll even delve into some of those
Oh, yeah.
juicy conspiracy theories.
Oh, we going there. Ancient civilizations, alien bases, government cover-ups, the whole nine yards.
We're leaving no stone unturned.
All right, so to kick things off, let's take a step back. How has our perception of Mars changed over time?
Well, for centuries, Mars was just this dot in the night sky, this reddish light that people,
Yeah.
attributed all sorts of myths and legends to. The Romans named it after their god of war.
Makes sense. It is the red planet.
Right. That color, by the way, comes from iron oxide. Basically rust.
Rust. Mars is a rusty planet.
A rusty planet. But it wasn't until the telescope came along in the 17th century that we could actually start to see Mars as a world. Astronomers were mapping surface features. They saw those polar ice caps.
Oh, wow. So that's when it shifted from just a dot to like, hey, this is a place.
Exactly. And as those telescopes got better,
Yeah.
the speculation went into overdrive.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. In the late 1800s, you had this Italian astronomer, Giovanni Schiaparelli.
Okay.
He thought he saw these canali on the surface.
Canali. Like canals that somebody built them.
Yeah, that's how it got translated, which
Ooh.
maybe wasn't entirely accurate.
Which,
But the idea of these Martian-made canals, well, it took off. Then you had Percival Lowell, an American astronomer.
yeah.
He was convinced there was an advanced civilization on Mars,
Wow.
struggling to survive on a dying world.
Interesting.
He even built his own observatory in Arizona.
He did?
He did. Spend years sketching these intricate canal network.
Wow. All because of a translation error.
Pretty much. It shows you how much we want to believe in life beyond Earth.
I mean, who wouldn't want to believe that, right?
Right. Of course, Lowell's ideas were eventually debunked. Those canals turned out to be optical illusions.
Bummer.
But those early observations, they had a lasting impact.
I bet they did.
They planted the seeds for a lot of the conspiracy theories we see today.
So let's talk about those. What are some of the core beliefs behind these Mars conspiracies?
Well, let's see.
Okay, so we've got these early observations, these canal mix-ups, all fueling the imagination.
Right. It really set the stage.
It did. So where did the conspiracy theories really take hold? What are the big ones that people are still buzzing about?
Well, one of the most popular is the idea of ancient Martian civilizations.
Like full-on cities and stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Crumbling ruins, pyramids, even faces carved into the landscape.
Like the face on Mars. I remember those pictures.
Right. And that's kind of the thing, right? These grainy pictures that leave a lot to the imagination.
Oh, yeah, you see what you want to see.
Exactly. A trick of the light becomes a giant monument. A natural mesa becomes a city built by...
Like super advanced aliens or something.
Exactly. And then you layer on this idea of forbidden archaeology.
Ooh, forbidden archaeology. I like that.
Right? Government suppressing the truth about these ancient
To
civilizations.
control us, right? Keep us in the dark.
Right. Control, prevent panic, all that. And that's something I see a lot in these theories. This,
Distrust.
yeah, of official narratives, like we're not getting the full story.
It's definitely a theme. But how do you separate, like, the genuine curiosity from the...
The unfounded speculation.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's where critical thinking comes in.
Okay, so like...
Being aware of your own biases, looking at the evidence objectively, considering, like, all the different angles.
Yeah, all the different angles. It's easy to get swept up in a good story, but you got to step back and ask yourself, what's the most likely explanation here?
Right, like with the face on Mars, I read that later pictures.
Oh, yeah, much higher resolution. Showed it was just a natural rock formation.
But some people still believe, right?
Oh, absolutely. Once an idea takes hold, it can be hard to shake.
So even if we set aside the ancient civilization stuff, there are still those theories about, like...
Current alien activity.
Yeah. Are we talking, like, full-on bases on Mars right now?
Well, the theories range from like subtle hints of activity to full-blown alien cities.
Okay, so like what? Spaceships.
Spaceships, hidden underground bases, you name it.
I gotta admit, some of those pictures of, like, lights on Mars, they are kind of...
Intriguing.
Yeah, intriguing.
I get there's that childlike wonder, like, what if?
Exactly.
We got to be careful, right? Just because something could be true doesn't mean it is true.
Right. So are there any scientific explanations for those weird lights and stuff?
Often it comes down to perspective, image resolution.
Okay.
Something that looks super strange in a blurry photo might turn out to be, totally normal up close.
Like a rock or something.
Exactly. And then there are things like camera glitches, dust on the lens.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, it can all create those strange effects.
So pareidolia again, our brains just like to fill in the gaps.
Exactly. And remember, even scientists can make mistakes, right? It's part of the process. But science is all about testing and revising and,
Being open to new information.
right. Conspiracy theories tend to cherry-pick data, ignore anything that doesn't fit their narrative.
Okay, so we've got ancient civilizations, aliens hanging out right now. What else is there?
Well, there's this whole other category of theories about,
Like secret space program?
yeah, secret space programs, hidden technologies, the whole shebang.
So, like, we've already been to Mars.
Right. The idea is that the government has the tech to go to Mars,
Wow.
even colonize it.
Really?
But they're keeping it all under wraps for, whatever reason.
National security, I bet.
Yeah, national security, economic control, maybe to avoid mass panic, who knows?
It's kind of like a real-life sci-fi movie, right? There's this whole secret world happening that we don't know about.
Exactly. And it's a really seductive idea. It plays into that distrust of authority.
Yeah, like they're not telling us everything.
Right. But again, the evidence is pretty thin.
So what kind of evidence do they even have for these secret programs?
Well, often it's like circumstantial stuff or,
Like rumors?
yeah, rumors, alleged leaks from whistleblowers,
Okay.
unexplained spending in the government budget, that kind of thing.
So not exactly hard proof.
Not really. And while it's good to be skeptical to demand transparency from the government,
Sure.
we also have to be careful about jumping to conclusions.
Right, right.
The burden of proof lies with the person making the claims, not the other way around.
So taking a step back from all these theories, the civilizations, the aliens, the secret programs, is there a common thread? Why are people so drawn to these ideas about Mars, even when there's no real evidence?
I think it comes down to a few things. First, humans, we're natural storytellers.
We like to make sense of things.
Exactly. We crave narratives, explanations for the unknown, and a sense of order.
Makes sense.
And when those narratives involve mystery and hidden truths, well,
It's even better.
it's even better. It taps into our primal curiosity, our need to know things.
And maybe feel special, like we're in the know
Exactly. But it also speaks to our fears about the future,
about what's out there.
Yeah. About our place in the universe, the possibility that things beyond our control are happening.
So it's not just about Mars, it's about us, right?
Right. It's about projecting our own hopes and fears onto this blank canvas of a planet.
That's a really good way to put it. So how do we approach these theories? I mean, I don't want to dismiss people who believe them.
Right. It's about empathy, understanding that there are real anxieties and desires driving these beliefs. We can acknowledge those without, accepting the theories as fact.
So recognizing the human element while still staying grounded in critical thinking.
Exactly. And that's what we'll be digging into in the final part of our deep dive, how to navigate this world of information, separate fact from fiction, and have meaningful conversations about Mars and its mysteries.
It's funny, even when we're talking about debunking these theories, there's still this excitement about Mars.
Right.
It's like we can't help but be drawn to it.
It's that sense of wonder.
Yeah.
Even with everything we've learned, it still has that hold on us.
I think it's that, it's this blank canvas we can just,
Project onto.
yeah, all our hopes and fears. And,
Dreams.
yeah, and that's reflected in how much Mars pops up in our culture. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Movies, books, it's everywhere.
From War of the Worlds way back when.
Oh, yeah.
To, more modern stuff like The Martian.
It's like this endless source of inspiration.
It really is. Mars lets us explore all these big questions.
Yeah, about the unknown.
The unknown, what's out there, the challenges of exploration even.
What if we meet aliens?
Exactly. And I mean, those stories, even the fictional ones, they
shape how we think about Mars and the real world.
Oh, for sure. Science fiction, it can be a real driving force. It can inspire scientific progress, get the public excited about space,
Yeah.
even influence, policy decisions.
But it's a slippery slope, right?
It can be,
Bring that line between fact and fiction.
especially when it comes to these conspiracy theories.
Yeah. It's like that saying, a lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes.
Right. And with social media, it's even faster.
Oh, yeah. It spreads like wildfire.
This information can just explode.
So we really need those critical thinking skills now more than ever
Absolutely.
to question sources, to really look at the evidence.
And be wary of anything that sounds too good to be true.
Right. So when we're looking at information about Mars, or any topic really,
Yeah.
what are some red flags we should watch out for?
Well, first, check those sources. Is it coming from a reputable place?
Okay, so
Scientific institutions, peer-reviewed journals, respected news outlets.
not just some random blog.
Exactly.
Yeah, what else?
Watch out for emotionally charged language.
Trying to get you riled up.
Yeah. appealing to your fear or outrage instead of logic and evidence.
I see that a lot. It's like they want you to react without really thinking.
Right. Anytime you see that, be skeptical.
Okay, good advice. What about the evidence itself? How do we know if it's, like, legit?
Look for specifics. Verifiable data. Are they citing actual studies, data from missions, expert analysis?
Not just like, I don't know, some blurry picture.
Right. Vague anecdotes, anonymous sources, that kind of thing. Always dig deeper.
Okay, and it's important to think about, like, the big picture too, right?
Oh yeah, the context. Does it fit with everything else we know about Mars?
From, like, all the years of actual research?
Exactly. Don't get too focused on one little detail that might be, out of context.
So it's all about being an active participant in finding the truth.
Exactly. Not just passively consuming whatever comes across your feed.
Right. Question everything, think critically, and don't be afraid to change your mind when presented with new evidence.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Wow. Well, this has been quite a deep dive.
Us.
I mean, we've gone from ancient myths
Yeah.
to, like, the psychology of conspiracy theories and how pop culture shapes our views. And
And the importance of critical thinking in this digital age we live in.
it's been really fascinating. I hope our listeners
Yeah.
feel like they can, continue exploring these topics
Armed with the knowledge
to separate fact from fiction.
Exactly, to appreciate the wonder and the complexity of Mars.
Yeah, and who knows, maybe someday soon we'll be having a whole different conversation about Mars based on,
Real discoveries?
yeah, tangible evidence, not just speculation.
That would be amazing.
It would. Thanks for joining me on this journey.
It's been a pleasure.
It really has. Keep looking up, keep questioning, and most importantly,
Keep exploring.
keep exploring the cosmos.